The sequel to the amazing Crusader Kings 2 is finally here after around 8 years of updates and expansions. Crusader Kings 3 is an amazing game in its own right, but it's hard not to compare it to its older sibling. So then, if you're completely new to the series or just an old veteran like me, why should you, distinguished gentlemen and women such as yourself, get this game? Hello there friends, my name is Andy and here are the top 5 things Crusader Kings 3 does better than Crusader Kings 2. First up is graphics. While it might sound shallow at first, it's no secret that Crusader Kings 2 is beginning to, and quite honestly always, did look quite shabby. Graphical mods have made it a lot more beautiful if you're into that sort of thing, but graphics are so much more than just pretty visuals. Perhaps most notably, every character has moved from living inside tiny circular shaped portraits into being actual breathing, almost living people. They now live in fully furnished castles and fortresses wearing clothes based on their financial and social standing. Depending on their traits and lifestyles, they look healthy, sick, obese, or sneaky, and look scared or happy when relevant events occur. Kids even grow up to look like a mix of their parents, making the inhabitants of Crusader Kings 3 more lifelike and immersive than ever. In addition, the map has been updated from this to this, bringing you perhaps the most beautiful map ever in a Paradox game, and arguably in any strategy game of this depth and scale. What modifiers the terrain provides is easily visible, and makes it all the more fun to acquire those rich counties and provinces. Moving up, the political map changes to a gorgeous paper map where the political colors and boundaries of every realm is clearly visible, and I love this unique take on the campaign map. Second on the list is character progression. When Crusader Kings 2 introduced its way of life expansion, we were finally able to educate our children and set lifestyle paths for our characters, making stewards and warriors out of our family members. Crusader Kings 3 takes this system to the next level with its lifestyle options, meaning that you can choose from 5 different styles of life. These are diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, and learning, all corresponding to different aspects of the game. Going down the martial path will make both you and your troops better warriors and may also give you advantages like circumventing river crossing penalties and decreasing the likelihood of your character dying in battle. In the same vein, the stewardship path lets you control more counties directly. Diplomacy lets you develop your domain and culture, and intrigue makes, well, a better killer, but also a much sexier and more fertile one. This system is deep and wide and allows us to make vastly different characters based on our choices, but of course, life in Crusader Kings 3 always finds a way to mess things up. Sickness and bad traits will make it harder to rule, and living a certain way may even help you achieve your goals. Moving on to number 3, we have UI changes. The UI in Crusader Kings 2 was notoriously hard to deal with at first, with its many small menus with vast amounts of information. Although you can always get the hang of things after a few hundred hours, Crusader Kings 3 says, that's a no for me cuz, and delivers a UI experience unmatched in a Paradox title. The UI is uniform and slick, with large text and numbers providing easy access to information at a glance. Checking out a character's titles and claims is easier than ever, with large icons representing their holdings along with their wealth, army, alliances, and other modifiers. The map now shows you straight away how much tax and manpower you gain from your own domain in peacetime, and in wartime you can right away see your city's fort level and garrison strength, making it even more fun to develop your provinces and witness the enrichment of your lands. Or, their destruction if you're not careful. All of the menus are easily accessible from the right side, again with large icons and text boxes with ways to get either deeper into the menus or other places entirely, like to your holdings or your vassals. I can imagine that the large and dedicated windows, such as the ones for lifestyles, culture, dynasty, and religion, makes it much easier for newcomers to enter the medieval world of Crusader Kings 3. For me, I love the artwork present in each window, giving us beautifully illustrated icons for your religion's main tenets, or your available cultural innovations and dynastic legacies. And that's a beautiful way to introduce number 4, which is how Crusader Kings 3 handles technological development. In fact, Crusader Kings 3 calls it cultural fascination because technology, or yes, innovations, are not tied to culture. Every culture has a cultural head, the person controlling the largest realm belonging to that culture, who can decide what the next cultural innovation will be. For example, the King of Norway will most likely be the Norwegian cultural head, and so on. How quickly these innovations are unlocked is determined both by how developed the culture cities are and certain other modifiers like the cultural head's learning skill. In this way, being a powerful ruler becomes increasingly important, and smaller cultures with more developed provinces may receive an edge over larger, more divided ones. In addition, cultural innovations are divided into different eras, these being the tribal, early medieval, high medieval, and late medieval eras. This is where you get to recruit better men-at-arms, unlock cool buildings, and find new ways to set up your realm's succession laws so that, hopefully, your once great empire won't smolder into several tiny warring kingdoms after your oh-so untimely death. Finally, we need to talk about warfare. Warfare has been completely revamped in Crusader Kings 3, and in my opinion, it's been for the better. Not only can you raise your entire army with one click instead of having to manually gather them together from several places on the map, you can even choose to raise your armies from various points if you so wish. The rallying of troops is even simulated by having the army gathering taking some time, simulating how the soldiers are coming in from all over your realm. What's more, it's now much easier to determine the strength of your army and comparing it to your neighbors. Your army now has a qualify modifier which goes up or down depending on the amounts of knights and men-at-arms in your army, in addition to other factors like the skill of the army commander or faction leader. Let me break it down for you. The bulk of the army is made up of levies, soldiers conscripted to you and the amount which is determined by your holdings, the buildings within them, and your vassals. Levies are considered low-quality troops. Knights, on the other hand, are, if you're lucky, highly trained warriors which you can hire for gold, who will raise the quality of your army depending on their skills. In addition, men-at-arms are professional soldiers, replacing the retinues mechanic in Crusader Kings 2. You can recruit men-at-arms who are bowmen, light or heavy infantry, or light or heavy cavalry, even including siege weapons, making conquering fortified counties much easier. Men-at-arms also raise the quality of your army, but they do cost extra gold and require that you can accommodate them. The generals are also extremely important because through the lifestyle perks, characters can gain valuable perks and traits, making them legendary warriors and leaders of men, boosting both their own quality and that of their men. That's a lot of men right there. Furthermore, Crusader Kings 3 makes it that much easier to see how well your troops will do against other troops, as each type of soldier has a unique attack and defense modifier displayed in their window. Additionally, each soldier type is effective or weak against a different type of soldier and strong or weak in different types of terrain. In this way, you can more easily recruit units of a type you know will have the advantage in the terrain while you fight your battles. Lastly, you can see both your and your enemy's advantage or penalty modifiers during each battle. Modifiers which help determine whether you will end up on top after all arrows have been loosened and all shields thrown aside. And those are the 5 most important things Crusader Kings 3 does better than Crusader Kings 2. If there's anything you're missing or completely disagree with, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.